even the title of the project, did that came at first? Because I'm guessing that there's been a lot of beautiful surprises and even like moments of where at first everything was kind of funneled in a way, and then kind of expanded and expanded and expanded. So how did that, like a shape of measure and sound, did that came up like straight away, or it kind of evolved with the...
I had, with every one of my creative project, it always comes with the title
Even
first.
this one, amazing.
Because it's part of the reflection, and from that reflection, it's like the spark, and the spark will expand, reform, reshape, and then I will like completely destroy everything and rebuild with whatever pieces that survived my tantrum and my insecurities and everything that comes with it, and my just like my frustration at being able to do things or to recreate what I have in my head and my heart. So for this part, since I wasn't able to really do that much, to say the
Yeah,
least.
for sure.
I wasn't even able to scream at people around, which was a first as well.
Yeah.
Which probably was very well appreciated by Ben. Yeah, I could be a bit emotional sometimes.
Of course.
You won't guess, right? And so that those words came because I was like, as I was reflecting and I was trying to understand where I was in my life, and I was always, the words that were coming back, or maybe like the concept I had in my mind was always like, I need to find a new measure. It's the new measure, who I am. And I was always trying to measure that to what I was understanding of my new me in terms of where I was. I felt like I left off on some kind of like a moment, a momentum where I was getting to reach something that I never felt I was able to reach in my life.
Amazing.
And creatively.
Wow.
This is where we left in 2022 at the end of that tour.
Yeah.
So, and then I suddenly was completely like, at the lowest of the low, and it felt like everything had to be learned again. When you're just like, when you're unable to say, well, this is, and then you're frustrated you look for the word, and you're just like, and then someone would say like, table? Yeah, table.
Holy shit, yeah.
So we're
there
pretty
you go.
far from
Yeah.
different themes that I'm using, right? This is like, oh, wow. Okay. It's going to be a long road.
Yeah,
It's going to be
for
a
sure.
long road. So there was like that term, a measure. What's the measure? What defines you as a person? We're always looking to be measured by either where you are in your life. You measure that to where you were looking to be at some point in your life. Could be like professionally, could be whatever you've been able to accomplish, could be, socially, your friends, your family, your kids, whatever has been like the real drive you had to keep on going. So you're always kind of measuring yourself. Sometimes you will measure yourself to other people, and you would say, oh man, I should be there, but I'm still there, blah, 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 blah. So there's always that kind of thing. And from really like, even when you're a kid, you're just like, okay, if you're into sports, so you're measured to the best ones, and then
Sure.
you need to do the team. And if you're in school, so you're the grades and so there's always a measure of something. And I was reflecting on that, just like, okay, so what's the measure now that I'm there, and thankful to be alive, but still trying to connect the dots
for sure.
and understand the fractures, and said, okay, so what's the measure between me that was like feeling like I was getting to get to the peak, and now where I feel like I'm not going anywhere anymore. So that was very difficult. And then after that, I said, I just need a measure like a sound, like something that can just like bring me in a place of solace, in a place of comfort, serenity, and I just need to find peace. So I need a measure, and then since I'm living in Virginia and in the islands, so there's no measure to the beauty of
so true.
nature.
Yeah.
And so I was reconnecting with the fundamentals, was reconnecting with all those
Beautiful.
things that I wasn't really paying attention anymore because I was going always like fast.
Of course.
And I never, I mean, we've been friends forever now, but even for people, I'm just like this year, it's supposed to be like a transition year.
Yeah.
Where I will allow myself to recover a little bit more. And then suddenly you've got 2 records, tour, videos, a movie, things like that. And
Tangier.
Tanger, we're going on tour again. It's wonderful, but sometimes it's too much. And that's something also that I'm learning. But slowing down or being in a state where you cannot go faster, I would say, it will allow you to look differently at your surrounding and who you are in that surrounding.
I love how you describe it, so beautiful and inspiring, because from when I first saw the name of the album and of course listened to the music, I loved it because it was the fact that it's a measure, not it's kind of stuck in time, and it's kind of there's so many possibilities to evolve or whatever, and with what you just said, and I was about to say that especially that how limitations, what can come out of limitations, which is kind of the opposite of what you've always been through, which was always to discover what's beyond the horizon. I felt that when I was envisioning all that, I was like, wow, it's so, and for every time that people will listen to it and go through it with that in mind, it makes it even more, to my opinion, so pretty.
And that's the tricky thing, because that so-called measure is something that evolves all the time.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sound expand and retract and reformed and reshaped and everything. And there's always a different form depending on where you are at that very moment. And same for shape, because it depends. And I was always because I have like a place at home, and it's a tiny room where I'm calling it like my writing room, and so there's like windows everywhere, and it's absolutely not fit for someone to spend so much time in there. And but you have like a wonderful view, because it's at the second floor, and you have a wonderful view of the mountain and all the houses in the city, and all the trees and everything. And so, and my perspective, it's like you're discovering the measure of shape based on where you are. It's always your position that will give you a perspective of what this object or what this thing is. But when you're moving around, you're discovering different things. If I'm going to the city and then I'm looking at the mountain and I can look at my house, then you have a different idea of what's going on. Or when you're walking in the forest also. So there's like very fundamental elements that everybody knows that, but when you go fast, you kind of lose all those things. And me, I lived all my life defying like nature, defying gravity, if you
Yes.
want.
Yeah. Totally.
So-
Completely.
Saying creatively, but then going back to the fundamental is just to appreciate those fundamental laws where you just like look at what's going on around you and you're suddenly no longer the center of the universe. You're part of something else, but it doesn't turn around you. You're not the sun anymore.
Yeah.
You're part of that. You're part of the fabric of something so bigger than you. So that's why it's a bit tricky because, yeah, it's a measure, but that so-called a measure changes
Definitely.
as you evolved, as you move a little bit, and as you kind of take a distance from your ego and take a distance from your position as the center of the universe, because we're all the center of our own
Yes,
universes,
yes,
you know?
yes.
So that's why when I had that, I said, okay, this is something that I can work with. This is my primary colors, or this is the clay that I have, and I just need to add some life into it and see what we're gonna find afterwards.